Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Awaken Coaching. Today we're going to interview a very special guest, Jeff Thiwa. Now, Jeff is the founder of Destiny Life Coaching, which is in Nairobi in Kenya. And he was my first coach when I lived there. And so I believe he deserves to be the very first interviewee on my channel. Jeff is an amazing coach. He's deeply genuine and an overall amazing human being. He's coached thousands to success, and his mission is to serve selflessly in order to make this world a better place. I'm sure you're going to enjoy his stories and his life journey. Now let's welcome Jeff Israel Thiwa. Hey Jeff, welcome.
Hey,
welcome. I'm so excited to have you here today. And as you know, you were my first coach when we were both in East Africa, in Kenya, and I'm really excited to have you on board and have this conversation with you. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Bud, and I'm so happy, delighted to again connect with you.
Me too.
This week.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this. So why don't we start with you telling us a little bit about yourself? Who are you? What do you do?
Well, so my name is Jeff Israel Nthiwa. I am a life coach, a transformational coach. That's how I describe myself. I coach and mentor transformational or agents of change, primarily for East Africa. Yeah, so I've done this for the last over 10 years, working with people that want to do the coaching work, transformational coaching work. But I also have clients, personal clients who are professionals who want to discover more than just achievement, the art of fulfillment. And so I limit the numbers because I want to spend most of the time helping agents of change, people that want to do the work of coaching. Yeah, so that's what I do. I have a family, 3 kids. My daughter is 16, firstborn. My son is 8.
Wow.
And my lastborn is 5. And I close the chapter.
You've been working hard, huh? Been working hard.
Yes, that's hard work.
and for those watchers and listeners, I just want to let you know that Jeff was actually my first coach many years ago now, and I have an immense respect for this man and the work he does, his genuineness, his empathy, and his commitment to the transformation of his clients. He does an incredible job. So you mentioned transformational coaching. Can you tell us what transformational coaching is?
I meet my clients in the journey of self-discovery, getting to know themselves. So the transformational coaching, what I call transformational coaching, I think the definition can be different for different people. For me, is that journey of evolving to becoming the person, the ideal person that you want to be. Accepting yourself, forgiving yourself, healing yourself, getting to that place of zero. I call it zero limits, where you are unlimited. I strongly believe that at the core as human beings, really, we operate at our best when we are unlimited. And I discovered that we are so limited, especially in our journey of life. We get tethered into limitations. We get tethered into what is possible for me. Just the analogy of, the elephant is tethered from the time it's a small elephant, and the same rope, it's tethering the same elephant, even when it's a giant elephant that can bring everything to the ground. So I realized the journey of transformation helps people realize who they are, their strength, and know that they can go through any challenge that is before them when they realize, their ideal self.
Right.
And that's the journey of what people
That's really interesting. And you mentioned
Yeah.
the elephant. I love that analogy. That's the analogy of learned helplessness, where the
Yes.
baby elephant learns that it can't break out of that, uh, and then it just doesn't try anymore. And the big elephant is tied just with a little string to a stick, and it still doesn't try and get away, right? So
Yeah.
you're saying the journey you take people on is similar to that. You help them to break through those limits, those self-imposed limits of learned helplessness, etc. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. So it's not one person, it's actually all of us. Once you realize one limitation, I'm yet to discover why we do that. I know we are driven to put those boundaries and, driven by, the need psychology, Maslow and Tony Robbins need psychology, the psychology of the human needs. But, once you break a certain level of limits, it's like you see there's a limit before you and you break that layer, and every layer, one after another, we're becoming more and more aware of how unlimited we are. And then now we begin to condition our mind to the unlimitedness, the power within us, that there are actually no limits apart from the ones I create. And that realization is what we need. It's not really to imagine that there's a time that will come when the limits and the resistance is not there. The resistance will be there, but I know there are resistance that I create in my own perspective, perception, and awareness. And so the awareness is the power that you are unlimited, and this limit you put there yourself. You can free yourself to the level you wish to be free.
Brilliant. This kind of what this brings to my mind is that we kind of live by default most of our lives, and until we take a look within, and the help of a coach, of course, is really useful here. We look within and we realize that by default is just a program that we've believed, or a story we've believed, and it's actually self-imposed because we believed it. We imposed it on ourselves.
Yes.
And henceforth, we have the power to undo it. And because we have the power to do it and undo it, our power is actually very limitless in terms of what we can create for self, what we can create for others, what we can create for society as a whole. So I think it was Marianne Williamson who said, we're not fearful of our limitations. We are fearful of how powerful we actually are. That's what we're scared of. So maybe that's why we limit ourselves, Jeff. What do you think?
That's true. That's true. I like it. I got it. That's why. It's amazing. We are afraid of being alive more than dying.
We are afraid of being alive more than dying. Fantastic.
Like really me, and you are our brightest shine. That's what we are afraid of than actually dying. We're afraid of showing up our strength, our capacity, who we are, the true nature, our true nature. Perhaps, someone else's light will be dimmed or something like that. But we realize every time you shine, like Marianne say, you're giving someone else permission also to unleash their light. And that's where fear now begins to shrink as we realize to step into the truth of who we are, to self-acceptance, self-love, joy, peace. You realize, you can create your own world within the world. And really what we call life is a creation of, we create our own world, and then we see through the glasses, through, the windows of what we create. So the realization that you're the master, you're the captain. The way my life is today, I created it. And I can change. And that's really so freeing. It's freedom when you realize I'm actually in control. I can change it. I can change it. And you begin to believe that you can change it. Okay, so the first one is believe it's possible to change. Because again, people get so conditioned to a place they believe is not possible. And you see, the human soul, when it's limited and feels it's not possible, it's not a good feeling to your heart. And so the first step is, it's possible. It's possible. And then it's possible for me to change. Because there are people who believe it's possible for people to change and transform, but they don't believe it's possible for them. Why? My story is special. I can tell you, you don't know my story. You don't know what I've been through. You can't tell me anything. Mine is special. Someone else can change. Bud can change. But me, hey, man, you don't know where I've been. We defend our story of limitation. I tell you, there are people, you talk to them, they want to get you out for wanting to, because they know, and they tell you, only I can tell you this story. But you see, you realize you can create another story of possibilities. So once you say, okay, I can change, then the next one is, I can change now.
Yeah.
I can change now. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. What am I waiting for? But sometimes we postpone happiness. I'll be happy next week. Right now, let's deal with this, but I'll be happy.
I'll be miserable now.
yeah, let's be miserable now.
Yeah.
Let's wait for my birthday, December. So we sort of postpone our happiness, postpone our joy. And my friend, I feel is stepping in that place of feeling you deserve. Because it's one thing to feel that, it's possible for me to create a brilliant, beautiful life experience. It's another thing to feel I deserve that.
Totally.
Given the story I've been through, do I deserve to be happy? Do I deserve love, true love, unconditional love? And can I give it to myself? Because then if I deserve, who is the first person to show me love? Who's the first person to show me this deservedness? It's me. And once I'm able to love myself, accept myself, the world is like a mirror. It loves, accepts me, and treats me just the same way I'm treating myself. Very interesting. Because I meet, with couples that have come to believe their story, and everyone has got a perception. Let's say it's a couple that, there's even abuse in the relationship. So one person feels, why do you do this to me? But I realize as human beings, we actually give the world permission or mirror how we see ourselves deep inside. I know that's a tough statement to make. Why? Does it mean someone hurting me is because I'm hurting myself? That's the truth. And that's where, when you begin to love yourself, and I've seen this in the last over 10 years as I work with people, as people begin to love themselves, the world looks different. God seems to be a great place. People change. And they're like, people are actually good. People are actually nice. And then you begin to meet all these people that are nice and good, that treat you well. And it's amazing. It's magic. It's magical. And you realize the magic is deep within you. At that inner core of self-realization of, this is who I am. That's the greatest change. It's not external. It's not external, it's a result. But that internal change, when I can feel, that's the result. That's what I'm after on my personal level, personal life. I'm after that inner self-awareness and realization. This is who I am. And then the beliefs by my own terms that I create and say, okay, I enjoy this. I want to live our life like this. Because, my friend, before coaching, I lived a life of looking outside myself and watching people. And it was a life of desperation because I never got to that place of the truth. I'm watching someone with their struggle, whatever they are going through, and, trying to understand how life, I should live my life. until the moment of coaching where I began to realize the power is within me. And all of us as human beings, we have that potential and power within me and the opportunity to either look inside or look outside. And every time I look outside, I felt powerless. I felt, when will be the end of this? My peace came when I began to look within myself and appreciate myself and, take ownership of my journey, including the good, the beautiful, the ugly, everything I see myself, I say, I am that. I am that. I began to accept myself in all ways, and I begin to realize there's nothing wrong with me. There could be something wrong with my strategy. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm beginning to accept myself. That was the beginning of my change, my transformation. Then I realized I can go through anything. I began to realize, the power. I remembered, going through rejection. I didn't have to please people, I didn't have for myself to be the person, that I'm not, I don't feel I am deep inside. So that self-love, self-acceptance, self-realization gave me true power and peace. And if you ask me, that's true wealth. I began to realize, okay, inner wealth, this inner wealth of realizing, okay, your joy, your peace, your love, that's it. Once I got there, I want to sit there, bask in that love, peace, and joy. What I read in the Bible, Jesus calls it the kingdom of God. Yeah, I like to sit there. When I sit there and just bask in that peace, love, and joy, it doesn't mean, the external has changed that much. In fact, it can remain the same, but I'm a different person. So it's the inner power, it's the building of inner power that gives me that capacity to keep moving, to keep helping people. And I realize my external also begin to change. Yeah.
It sounds to me like, sorry. It sounds to me like what you're saying is that we generally, we're under the delusion that our outward circumstances create our inner reality. And we feel like we have to get life right. And so in order to get life right, I have to be a particular kind of person showing up in life. Now, I have to be better than the guy next door. I have to have a bigger car than that one. I have to make sure that I don't feel my depression or show it. And henceforth, I live this falsity. Now, yes. What you're showing me, what you're sharing with me, the essence of what I'm getting is that when I am who I truly am, when I sit in that, when I sit in the power of my being, in the peace and the joy and the love, and I radiate that light first through myself, back to myself, and then out into the world, that the true inner change that happens results in a different experience of life, and the different experience of life results in a different life.
Awesome. Perfectly.
so I'm kind of getting what you're saying, I think.
Awesome. Right. You got it, man. So
how did this transformation happen for you? Because I know, when a lot of people go through transformation, it's normally brought out by circumstances that force that change in their life. So what were the circumstances for you, if there were any?
Well, so for me, it's progressive. The transformation it's a journey. It's a journey of divorcing beliefs about myself, about my past, about my identity, about my relationships, about how I show up in life. The awareness that there were limiting beliefs, that was the first thing. And
can you give us an example of a limiting belief?
So my number one, and I know I tell people, there are people that actually are so proud of their limiting belief. We
wear them like badges.
Yeah.
Like medals.
You don't know. Yeah, so my number one was that I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
You see, so this is someone.
There's no one I've come across so far who doesn't actually have that belief. The only people who don't have it are people who have worked on themselves to remove it.
I like that. Yeah, me too. But you know what? I thought I was the only one.
Yeah,
you know,
so did I. So did I.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
through it.
that limited belief is held in place by shame. We put shame over it. I'm not good enough, so I'm lesser than I should be. I must never let anyone see this. Never let anyone see this. Yeah. So we live from a place of shame rather than a place of peace. Yeah.
Yes.
Very interesting. But yeah, carry on. Sorry, I interrupted.
So I'm 19 years old. I just graduated from high school. I was the school captain. I began to be a speaker at that time as a teenager, and I loved
and this
to
was
attend.
In Kenya, right?
Yeah, this is in Kenya, in Nairobi, Embakasi. So I love to attend meetings for personal development, people talking about, and this one was in a church somewhere. And so those days, I had this mindset of, you have to be smart when you go for meetings. So I have a tie and a nice suit. I remember I told my dad, I was really sharp. I showing up in life, man, like you're ready. Yeah. So there are about 300 young people gathered, and somehow the auditorium is totally silent. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, okay, where are the speakers? Where are the people that are supposed to be leading us? And then a guy goes to the front and looks at the people in attendance and spots me. Because I'm in a suit and every other young person is just, showing up. And said, I thought you are the speaker. Even if you're not the speaker, could you come and tell us something?
Oh, that's beautiful.
My God. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I just looked around. I'm like, okay, is he talking about someone else? Yeah, the guy in a suit. And I took a deep breath. I knew that at that moment, I will not hide. And with young people, teenagers, they're looking at you. They want to know, who is this guy? Why is he different? And for me, I'm thinking, oh my God, what an invitation to hell. What am I going to say? And my feet are shaking. I tried to stand up, and for a moment, I couldn't. And somehow I gathered myself and stood and went there, and the mic was hooked to a stand, and I'm holding this stand and it's literally shaking because I had this belief that I'm not worthy of attention. I'm not worthy of attention. I have been a school captain, I have been in leadership, but I was hiding this belief within me. Being a school captain was actually a way of, so I worked with other people, which is good, but for me, it was a way to hide that shine light on me. But at that moment, everything is on me, and every teenager is looking at me like this, like we are waiting. Open your mouth. Let's hear this guy. My mouth refused to open. So I'm shaking my legs are fellowshipping, they're meeting each other. And I took a deep breath. The mic fell from the stand down to the floor, making a loud, sound of shame, embarrassment. And my goodness, everyone now laughs at me. The entire place, it turns into everyone laughing at me. Now, at that moment, something in my heart told me this is a defining moment.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, but there's a voice I remember, even to this moment, many years later. I still remember the voice that came from my heart. And I knew this is a defining moment. It's either I'll stick with that shame forever or be redefined. my identity and everything. And so I made fun of it. I picked the mic immediately. I honored that voice. It's a defining moment. What do you do? So my choice was pick the mic, make fun of yourself. So I picked the mic, and now it's not on the stand, it's on me. And I say, can you imagine? This is the first time I'm speaking to this crowd of people, and the mic decided to do this to me, and they laughed even harder. And I'm like, I didn't plan to come, to speak to you. Neither did I plan to get embarrassed, guys. Do you plan to get embarrassed? And everyone was like, no, we don't. So there's a sense of connection. I felt that the power of being authentic gives you leadership. Immediately, I got that belief that when you're authentic, actually you get into a place of leadership. And I told them, guys, this is so embarrassing. Have you ever been picked when you're not ready? So I'm sending it back to them. And everyone is shaking their head. And they're sort of seeing me as a leader. Remember that we at that point, I don't know the organizers of the meeting. I just came because it's a personal development meeting. That was my first time with coaching, my first time with speaking, and I've never stopped from that day. I've never stopped.
It was a defining moment.
It was a defining moment. So I began to realize, okay, I asked myself later, what happened then? Because before then, what would happen is I would feel bad about myself. I would feel ashamed. Then later, I would beat myself down. As though that's not enough, I would still beat myself down. So later, I asked myself, what really happened, down there? And I realized I made a decision that was going to change the rest of my life. So I got a mentor from the meeting. I got someone to work with me. I told him, you know what? My dream is to be a speaker. I want to be a speaker. Then, I didn't talk about coaching. I want to be a speaker. I want to inspire the world. That's why I accepted to be a captain of a school. I want to inspire the world. Can you help me? And the guy began to mentor me, to work with me. And, that's how I began to love coaching. So the fear that I'm not enough, was an invitation.
Yeah.
To that spot, to hell.
Yeah.
And I went through hell. Someone said, if you're going through hell, don't stop. Keep going.
And it's really funny how, the darkness inside us is what holds the key to our liberation.
That's true.
So that limiting belief, and I just want to point something out to you. I want to reflect something at you. This is where your greatness as a coach really comes in. Because you were in a moment where you could have chosen shame and you could have just walked off the stage and your whole life would have been different. But you reframed the whole situation. Not only did you reframe it, you stepped into your authenticity. You listened to your heart. You listened to your wisdom for what to do next.
That's right. That's right.
You changed how many hundred people were standing there. You changed the moment for them. You were born to do the work you do because your greatness as a coach was always there, even when you were 19. And it's incredible. I just want to reflect that back to you so that you're clear about what you did in that moment.
Yeah. I tell you, that's a moment I remember with tears, because that exact moment, you see thousands of people that have been privileged to meet and coach. I tell you, the baseline, like at the bottom of the person I've become, is that realization that authenticity is power. Because for me, I'd gone through a lot of shaming. I'd gone through a lot of being looked down over. I used to think that people that look confident, people that do things from that place of ego. And I got this through just life inviting me to that place of, my foot was put on fire. And sometimes thank God for people that we meet in life and they pick us from the crowd. I can't even remember the guy who did that, and I don't know why he did that. But thank God for those people, because that would have been a meeting. Like, how many meetings have I attended? Thousands and thousands of meetings. But that those meetings would get picked to make our decisions of destiny, to make our destiny decision. And the universe just appoints an angel, someone to tell you. And at that moment, I would have hated that guy. I mean, how dare you pick me?
Yeah.
What did I eat? What is it that I took that is yours? Why are you hating on me? And this is where the power of meaning, what does this mean to me? Is this death or is it life? Is it the end or is it the beginning? The power of meaning. I realized, okay, you can make anything to mean anything.
Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the fact that, but I grew up with a very strict mom. Like, my mom was, after coaching, her life totally changed, because she was this person that was never happy. Never. Like 20 years of my life, I had never seen my mom happy. Even the police were afraid of my mom. That's how tough she was. My mom.
Yeah, and these are the Kenyan cops, right? Who are not scared of very much.
I'm telling you, the Kenyan cop, but they were the chief, the people around, they were afraid of my mom. My mom is the kind of a person that the neighbors would punish us, and she would feel that today there was not enough punishment, and go to the neighbors, get someone to punish.
I'm tired of beating you. So let me go find someone.
Give me some more. And so I grew up with this sense of being so careful not to hurt anyone, being so careful not to show my presence, and hiding, and taking the back seat. And even if you give me a seat, I'll take the edge of the seat, not the entire seat, because I felt I don't deserve. I don't deserve. And I don't know whether parents really, and now I'm a parent, and I don't know when parents really know the power of how we introduce our kids to the world. And although it comes from a place of love, I want you to be straight, walk the straight and narrow. But you know what? That's how we build our beliefs. So I began to build my beliefs for limitation, my beliefs for deservedness, my beliefs for worthiness. Every time I'll let other people speak, and I'll be the last one. I'll be in a meeting, everyone says my point, and I'm like, that was my point. And
I can't think of another one.
Yeah, and everyone would say my point, and I walk out saying, next time I should say, but then that worthiness, deservedness will keep me grounded. And when I look back, it's because of, the way we grew up. Now later, in fact, when I did coaching, one of my initial clients, guess who it was? My mom. My mom was one of the initial clients. And I remember how we had that authenticity conversation. And for a moment, I told her, Mom, you have to pay so that this is professional. And she paid me. She paid me fee for coaching.
That's really interesting.
She did not just, yeah. She did not just pay me, she bought my book.
Oh, wow.
I've written a book. My first book, was called The Genes of Greatness.
Yeah.
Genes of Greatness. Because I used to speak about, when I was a teenager and a young adult, about these genes, seeds of greatness that are covered by the sand of unbelief and limitation. And so I would inspire young people about believe in your seed of greatness, don't believe in your unbelief. She bought the book and went through it. And then now we had the conversation. And I tell you, her healing was my healing. Because the time we sat down, I felt like that was like, up to this moment, one of the best coaching conversations I've ever had. Because sitting with the person that carried you in their womb, you know, for 9 months, they have washed you, they have instilled beliefs in you, and to destroy those beliefs and to put the mirror before her that I'm not here to blame you. I know you are living, you know, a script. You know, you had your parents, yourself, and that awareness in her and the softness and the care that came, I realized she's the sweetest person on the planet. This woman that was feared by the police, they don't know her.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. And then I began to realize every human being has got that side. You meet someone and they look like, you know, they have no humanity in them. It's only a covering. It's fear that makes us really, you know, build that hard core, that cover our true nature. And when we get someone that can love us, accept us, and take us through the journey, we can unleash our true self. And the true self of humanity is the same. It's love, it's peace. And you realize whatever I'm looking for, whatever I thought I had through coaching, my mom had also, but it was covered by this layer of beliefs. And I realized even herself, she felt she did not deserve.
Yeah. That is such a beautiful story, Jeff. And I tell you, if you can coach your mom, you can coach anyone. Because that requires you to show up in such a different way in that conversation. You can't just be the son. You can't be your patterns when you show up as that coach. So that would have taught you really early on how to separate yourself to bring about your coaching presence so that you could actually effectively serve her as her coach. That's an incredible story. There's so many layers in there, my friend. That's just beautiful. That's a gift. For me, that makes my whole day worthwhile just to hear that story. That's beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you. It's a real gift.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, brother. That's amazing.
And I have your book here, by the way, on my bookshelf.
Which one is that?
I'll have to check which one it is, but it is in my collection.
I have several now.
I know you
Imagine, I've done 11.
Oh, wow.
I've done 11 now. Yeah, I've done 11 books. Some of them are on Amazon.
They're on Amazon.
One is a bestseller in New York.
Beautiful. That's excellent.
Yeah, I've done with 31 other coaches.
So where can people buy your books? On Amazon? And what are they called?
Amazon. Yeah.
Give us some names.
Jeff Israel Nthiwa. Or Jeff Israel.
Jeff Israel.
Yeah, Jeff Israel, you get me.
Jeff?
Yes.
Israel. And then
Israel.
Nthiwa is spelled Nthiwa. Correct?
Yes, that's true. That's correct. Yeah, awesome.
And now earlier on, it was funny because you talked about destiny, you know, that moment where you heard from your heart. This is a defining moment. And you call your company Destiny Life Coaching?
Yes, Destiny Life Coaching.
That was destined to be, huh?
Yeah, and can you imagine? Yes, it was. Destiny Life Coaching came later, and I didn't have a reference to that day. It's interesting how sometimes you live your life and you think you're not guided.
Yeah.
And the truth, this I know, like here down in my heart, you're guided. Even when you feel you're lost, you're guided. You're being guided. And even when the world seems to be upside down, there's no pain, there's nothing you'll ever be that you're not guided by the universe. You're being guided to your destiny. Because look, the connection between that moment and the company Destiny Life Coaching, which now, I mean, so many people have gone through. We work with the International Coaches Register. We've certified over 500 coaches.
Oh, congratulations. That's fantastic.
Destiny. And we like to focus more on the transformation of the coach, more than the certainty of just getting a certificate. That journey. And so somehow the way we work in working with coaches is we take them through transformational weeks, where is the journey of self-discovery, going past our stories, just like I did, and just like I'm doing. The journey is never over.
The journey is never over. That's right.
Exactly. And so I meet all these people from all walks of life, and listen to their story, and wow, when I see people change just because you've shared your story, and see someone transform and make a decision, because that is the moment of change, is when you make a decision. And so we are very keen on what decision are you making right now for your life and for your coaching business. And so, yeah, that's what Destiny Life Coaching does, is we work with agents of change, people that believe that, you're here to make a change on the planet in other people's lives. That's what we work with. And we want to spend more time to getting that inner power, that self-awakening and awareness, so that no matter where you are, you find yourself, that seed will find a way to grow and nourish others and make this planet a better place.
Totally. I cannot resonate more with that. Nowadays, these are the days when you can go online and buy yourself a life coaching certificate for $5, and some are even free.
Yeah.
and yet nothing has happened on the inside.
Yes.
Coaching is all about who we are and how we show up.
That's true.
If we're not living it, we can't serve anyone.
Yes. So, I love that.
So the way you're talking about your program and how you've structured it to take people through the journey.
Yes.
That's critical. If that doesn't happen, it doesn't matter what certificate someone is holding, they do not have the ability to be that agent of change, who you're calling an agent. They do not have the ability to help someone transform, or to sit in the space they need to be able to mirror and reflect. So that's incredible. I love what you're doing. That's brilliant.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a joy.
So you're connecting coaches to their purpose. What's your purpose?
Awesome. So my purpose in life is really to awaken the spark in the soul before me. So everyone I meet, there's one belief that all the potential necessary is there, sitting in potential. Yeah. And all they're looking for is just that, awakening, or that spark to boom, unleash your greatness, or to break through. And so I believe strongly in, breaking through, because everyone is a breakthrough in waiting. That moment, and because I went through a moment of breakthrough where so much potential that was in waiting, all of a sudden, just, boom. And I began to get all this invitation. I didn't tell you, I spoke to 7,000 people sitting in Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi. And I remembered the moment, my defining moment, and tears came down as I was speaking, because I was inspiring these people. I realized all my life, I have been guided through this journey of breakthrough, and to help people just, be that spark that lights other people's sparks, that candle that lights, other people's candle. And know that, just because your candle has waited for so long doesn't mean it's actually finished. Just means the potential is there. I just need that lighting.
That's right. And a candle,
I see myself.
Candle's light doesn't go out because it's shared. It just lights others. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So
perfect.
It's not even work. Yeah.
It's not work. Exactly. It's not
work. You don't feel, so I've done this now. No. It's not work. And that's why I can sit with someone, it's not transactional. I can sit with a client for session after session after session until we hit the spark. I'll never charge you. I'll not charge you. And I know when you hit the spark. And I know when you hit the spark, you can pay me any money because that is priceless.
That's the one.
I know I paid a coach, a lot of money. When you hit your spark, is priceless.
Yeah.
And so that drive can make me just have a session after another, and I'm guiding you to your spark. I'm guiding, because once I do that, you have everything you need within you to find your destiny. So I'm not a crutch to you. I'm not a support system to you. You are enough. You are complete. Just need to see your brother shining and burning in his fire and turn yours on and realize you can burn too.
That is just beautiful. That is just beautiful, Jeff. Thank you. That's incredible.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
And so, you talk a lot about awakening the spark in others. And it's funny because this is what this whole thing is that I'm putting together here, is awakened coaching. And it's about that. It's about the fact that people have it all within them. And like you do, you bring the spark. You just bring the spark. And then the fire burns so brightly, it burns away all the bullshit, right? It's all gone.
That's true.
And then what's left? What's left?
You.
This light. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that's who you are. And who you are. And that's why you're shining with Awakened Coaching. You're shining in your light. And this light, this fire within you burns every limiting beliefs. They show up, they're burned, they're consumed.
They're gone.
Yeah. So your work is just to keep your fire on. Keep your fire on. Yeah.
As brightly as possible.
And it's not a struggle. Let me tell you, it's not a struggle. Why? The sun doesn't struggle to shine. I have never had breaking news. Let's pray for the sun. The sun is struggling to shine, guys. Let's hold prayer and fasting. No. The sun in its true nature just shines. The stars just shine. The rivers don't struggle to flow. So when we hit that spark and we are in our true awakened self, we just shine.
Yeah.
We just shine. Even when there is trouble, we shine. And that's it.
Right.
Running away from trouble, just stepping into our shine. That's it.
It's funny, I was having a conversation earlier today and reflecting back on someone that the sun's there even when the clouds are there. Yeah. Yes. We get lost in the clouds.
Yes.
We forget who we truly are because we keep believing all the stuff that, is in the clouds.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And they look so real.
They look real. So once we claim our place as the sun, burn the clouds away. It burns them away.
That's it.
Come on.
That's it, man.
Hey, buddy, we're out of time now. This has been incredible. I'm really grateful, firstly, for you to accept the invitation to be on. I'm honored that you came on, and you have so much to share with the world. You're going to do even more amazing things. I know that, Jeff. Now,
thank you so much.
For our viewers, our listeners, how can they reach you?
Well, you can reach me on Google. Like, you can just type Destiny Life Coaching Kenya and you get my personal contacts.
Personal contacts.
You can reach me personally. There's a WhatsApp number there. There's a link to my WhatsApp on Destiny Life Coaching Kenya. You will reach me immediately. We can have a chat no matter where you are right now. I am privileged to have clients all over the world. New York, currently have a client in UK. I mean, the world now is it's a village. You can have a connection with anyone, anywhere. Exactly. So reach out to me, let's connect. Brilliant. Yeah, and thank you so much, Bud. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for this opportunity. And I'm so happy, to see you and hear the work you're doing. Amazing, amazing work. Thank you so much.
Look, As always, thank you. Heartfelt thank you, gratitude, and Jeff, just keep it up, man. And we'll keep connecting. It's been great having you here, and hope to see you soon.
Yes, definitely. Bye-bye.